So tell me, why do you suck at this game? You don't know? Well, maybe I can help you. Today I'm going to be going over some reasons you might not be very good at Galaxy of Heroes. This list of reasons is not going to be in any particular order, but probably the most pressing reason you might suck at Galaxy of Heroes that comes to mind is you're not patient. So this game is very slow. I am in my account that's over 2 years old, and I still only have 236 shards of Third Sister, aka Riva. And she's not the best unit in the game, she's up there. But the point is, she is a character that takes a very, very long time to get. Other types of units that take a very long time to get, but are worthwhile, are Conquest units. So I'm just now getting all of these, but they take an extremely long time if you're starting, and they are the ones that really skyrocket your account. Last September, October, I was in Chromium, and I've started to get an avalanche of these Conquest units and farmed, the best legendaries I can, and now I am in Kyber 3 holding steady. And this game is just a game of inches, no matter what it is. With the advent of tokens, you can kind of get around that, but just think of like ship farms. Like if you're farming ships, it takes a very long time. You need to set the goal way in advance, know where you want to be 5 to 6 months in the future, and just accept it's going to take that long, or you're going to have to spend a lot of resources, or you're going to end up spending a lot of money. And you could end up spending a lot of money in this game and be in the same spot or worse than someone that doesn't, just because you don't know what to expect going into it. Another reason you might suck at this game, this is huge for just any game mode, is you don't farm mods well. Maybe you don't use enough energy, or maybe you don't farm slicing materials, or maybe you don't take advantage of reroll materials, calibration mats. But any good roster in this game, when I'm doing roster reviews, you want to have good mods to get anywhere. And, a lot of people think that's mainly just speed. We don't live in a game setting where getting +1 speed over the enemy is the deal breaker anymore, but it is important. If you just have a unit that is close to base speed, so if my Balin barely has any speeds under 200, if we're facing a team that's all 300 speed up, they're going to be lapping you every other cycle. You're just not going to be getting your turns. It is still important to go first, but you're just not going to be having what it takes. And then not just speed, it's particular stats. Like Giant Master Luke wants lots of protection. I was able to squeeze a lot of protection into him. And I keep saying it's not just speed. You want to have a good variety of stats. So there's a protection primary, flat protection secondary, protection primary, flat protection secondary, speed, because speed is kind of king, 5 rolls of protection, and then offense okay too. But yeah, you need to balance your mods. You need to farm more than just speed mods. You need to look at more than just speed. You need to allocate the right stats. Starkiller is another great example. He's a great character, but he wants stats all over the place. Mine has a lot of speed, a lot of crit damage, good bit of offense, and good bit of health. And I haven't bought any packs for mods. It's just I do at least the 50 refreshes every day unless there's extenuating circumstances. And ultimately, once you've been playing a while, I think it's better to farm more slicing materials than just normal mods, because you have so many chances to get a perfect roll. So let's look at Malicos, because he's someone I want 2 stats on. Well, he's someone that people argue doesn't need as much speed. But for all my damage dealers, I want good speed and want good offense on the mod. So this one is a 6-dot mod, and it's gold. It's rolled every single stat. Both of them are the ones that I was going for. I've calibrated a couple times, not a ton, but you roll it up to 5 stars or to level 15. You slice it till it's gold, then you level it up till it's 6-dot, and you have 8 chances to roll extra stats. Yeah, so there's +8 chances to roll extra stats, and then you can re-roll the calibration. You need to take every step you can. Once you know you have a good solid mod, has good base stats to it, like that has the speed, that has the protection percentage secondary, has the offense percentage secondary, and then you work with that. I think that's more valuable than getting 5 speed rolls before you level it up to 6 dots. So mods, super important for every area of the game. PvP, you're going to be playing people that have good mods. PvE with Territory Battle and Conquest, you're going to be facing teams that are kind of calibrated to players that actually mod their characters. So if you're not modding well, you're just going to suffer in absolutely every area of the game, except Coliseum, because there are no mods there. Another reason you might suck at Galaxy of Heroes is you don't plan your farms in terms of resource income generation by that character that you're unlocking or building up, or the cost. So Jabba the Hutt, might not be a stronger Galactic Legend than a lot of others, but he's getting you a lot of mod materials when you're done with him. Leia, expensive-ish, but pretty new player friendly. She doesn't have the best resource income event granted to her, but she is amazing at Proving Grounds and gets you through that very easily. So she is kind of worth it. Jedi Master Luke, also not the best, but he's pretty cheap once you have Jabba and Leia. A lot of his requirements are already ticked off. And then one of the things I emphasize in every free-to-play farming guide I ever do, and any kind of guide for resources, you prioritize assault battles. You get those done first, so that once you have those, you have a steady stream of income coming in every month. So we have this military might right now. I have had all challenge tiers done for the longest time. Every month, from this event alone, I'm getting like 6 of each of these types of signal data, 10 of these. Got some Electrium conductors, some Iridium heat sinks. These are less valuable than they used to be. But, Zetas, like, this is very important to get done early. Kyrotech is still very important. And then we have those newer assault battles, like Purity Patrol and the Qui-Gon Obi-Wan one, Duel of the Fates. And a lot of you watching do know this, and you go for that. But it is just, it is paramount to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's when it comes to reoccurring income, because that is going to skyrocket you. Because you only get so far by doing energy refreshes each day. That does get you somewhere, but the more you have from other sources, the more it's going to benefit you. And some players just want to chase the character they think is great, like Jedi Master Kenobi or whoever's their favorite character. But you got to think of, what's this character going to cost me versus what is this character going to generate for me? Because in the end, this game is very much about random resources that don't necessarily make you think all that much about Star Wars, but they are what drives this game. The next reason you might suck at Galaxy of Heroes is you don't use SWGOH. This is the best resource for this game we have. It has databases about characters. You can look up any kind of character. You can find characters that do specific abilities. You want someone that does Blight or has Frenzy. You can filter by that, find that for feats or whatnot. You can look at what you have, your collection, and have some gauges for things. So you can go to Leia, you can see her mods. Well, maybe not necessarily in this area, but if you look at a character to compare what people are doing with their mods, you can go to the best mods, and this is the top 1,000 Kyber players. They're not always going to be infallible, but it gives you a good idea what to do. This ties in hugely to the tip about mods, is because if you don't know what stats to go for, it's easy enough to just refer SWGOH. It's not going to be 100% right all the time, but it'll definitely give you an indication. 91% of people using health on the triangle, probably a safe bet. 97.8 on the circle, again, probably what you want to do. And then you can see where it's kind of a toss-up, where people are kind of undecided. But when it gets that kind of a majority, it's a pretty good indicator of what you should be doing. Also on SWGOH, you can go to the Tools tab, see the Gear Tracker, and see what it would take you to get any individual large farm, like a Galactic Legend farm or any of the newer Legendary farms. So, for example, Hondo Onaka, for me, it would take, and I'm going to look at signal data because that's probably the most pressing resource we have, 1,205 of this blue signal data, 2,350 Carbantes, 1,800 of the Kyrotech Shock Prods, 1,500 of the computers. If I want to look at an easier GL to get, like Sith Eternal Emperor, only 210. I'm a lot closer to him. And I have not intentionally set out to get him at any point. So if you want to decide you want to go for a Galactic Legend, this is probably the best way to gauge what it's going to cost you to actually get there. Leviathan, for me, I am actively farming this. I'm actually getting pretty close. It's not going to show you what you need as far as ship farms, but it's still going to be a lot of great information for you. You can see your own history, what you've been scoring, and this is my small account. This is I'm not the best at the raid. You can check out your guild and see what they've been doing. You can scout out a guild to see how they're doing things. TB, TW, all this stuff is on SWGOH, so it's an extremely useful resource. And then you can go to Grand Arena counter, so you can see counters for 5v5. If you're a patron of SWGOH, you can do Insight, which has a lot more details. Otherwise, you can just plug in a comp. So like people that use Ben and Ezra and maybe General Kenobi. What's everyone using there? Well, we don't do Insight yet. But we have it sorted. Supreme Lord Kylo is very popular. What are people using? That seems to be what people are using a lot of the time. This is sorted by win rate. Let's see. Scene. People using Leia, all that stuff. And then GAC Insight, you can do all kinds of other stuff, like adding what the Datacron is being used, all that. So this will help you in Grand Arena tremendously if you're not sure what to use on what unit, how to counter it, and what's a good defense. So extremely useful resource. So if you're not using it, you're probably suffering big time. The next reason you might suck is you're not in an active guild. You're not in a huge guild, an active guild. I think my guild is pretty sizable for the account I'm in, or I'm getting close to 8 million, so I'm actually gaining on a lot of the people in this guild. 480 million. What is most important about a guild? I don't think it's that they win TWs all the time, or even that they do super well in TB, 26 stars, or even that they do win the final day. So like we're not pretty far along for our rank, and I don't even think it's that you score super high on the raid. Like, I don't think this is particularly impressive performance from a guild. We sometimes get this great, the 4,000. I think the most important thing is that you're an active guild that actually gets tickets. And this is extremely easy to do for players at this time in the game's life cycle, because all you have to do is use any kind of energy, 600 of it. You basically just have to log in and play a little bit. So my guild has 5 hours 45 minutes left. I have hopes that these players are going to log in and do a little bit and get their tickets. But you can use that resource we were talking about just before SWGOH. You can go to, this is how often my guild does the raid, and see what raid they're doing. If you're scouting a guild, you can see what they're doing. We've been doing Order 66 for, oh my gosh, that's so many Order 66s. We've been doing this a long time. I think the goal is to have a guild that runs the raid every 6 or 7 days at minimum. Perfection is 6 days, but obviously there's going to be a little bit of leakage here and there, and once in a while it'll be 7 days. So like the 9th to the 15th, 6 days. The 15th to the 21st of January, 6 days. 21st to 27th, 6 days. So this guild is very active. We're getting these tickets, and we're able to run the raid frequently. While the focus, end game, and a lot of people, all they care about is this. Oh, that's it. That's all that matters. For a player that's newer, what matters is that you're getting this. Look at these different crates. Max crate. Yes, 8,770 of this, but what does it have here? Tier 2, 9,700. Tier 1, 6,500. Tier 1's getting less valuable, but this Tier 2, very important for a growing roster. And how does that compare to this one? The exact same for the Tier 1 and Tier 2 currency. So there is a vast ocean of roster size and skill between my guild and the best guild in the game. But the difference ultimately is we get a little less than half of this material. And then the rest of this is exactly the same. So I think this is by far the most important. TW reward's not that great. TB, marginal at best when you're increasing. It is still important to, do the TV, especially if you're able to get to play a Mandalore, which we miss a lot of times. But I think it's just being active. People coming in, as long as people deploy in this TB, you're going to get most of the way there. And the combat missions are kind of marginal. But just get in a guild where everyone is committed to playing a little bit each day, at least. Another reason you might suck at Galaxy of Heroes is you are way too focused on Galactic Legends. Galactic Legends are kind of definitionally the best units in the game. Once you have them, once you have all characters, you set them side by side, yes, they're strongest. But this leads back into not thinking in terms of resource cost. So if you are going for just from one Galactic Legend to the next, you are spending a lot of resources gearing up all those units. And it's going to take a lot. And then what you get functionally is not as dominant as what you'd want. So if you get a good defensive Galactic Legend, that's kind of invaluable. If you can get something that holds and then no one gets by. Actually, Leia has been the thing for me. She's carried me to Kyber when I really shouldn't be there, because I got there with 2 GLs and then recently I just got a 3rd. So I am performing above my potential. But then on offense, if you want to have a team that can beat other A tier, S tier teams or GLs, you don't have to get a GL of your own. Balin, he can kill Jedi Master Kenobi easily. He can beat Rey a lot of times. Jedi Master Luke, he can beat, like, there's all kinds of stuff. Bo-Katan, kind of similar. Specializes in Lord Vader. If you're facing an ideal Lord Vader, you can kind of counteract against most of Bo-Katan counters. But if you're not in Kyber 1, which this video is not for Kyber 1 players, by the way. I think that should be clear. Kyber 1 and Kyber 2 players. I think they have most stuff figured out. You're going to be able to beat most of the Lord Vaders with a Bo-Katan, and it's significantly easier to farm. You get your Paz, your IG-12, and the Mandalorian. That's all part of her team. You farm the units, that goes into her team. Same with Balin. 2 of the units form his 3v3 team, and then the rest are pretty awesome as well. Now, if you're only farming Galactic Legends, you're getting a whole bunch of kind of garbage alongside. Supreme with Kylo, you have to farm almost the whole First Order faction, and you can only use 3 of them, ideally, if you have Darkseid Rey to go along with him. And the rest of the 11, I don't really use them very much. Well, some of them are, Emperor Palpatine's got his own thing. But, the rest of the First Order, you're not really using them that much. Same thing with Rey. It's a little bit better because you have a Zori team you can put together, but there's all kinds of garbage that's just not getting you anything, ultimately. Jedi Master Kenobi, he's got some good stuff, some bad stuff. It's kind of a mixed bag, but, Clone Sergeant, do you really care about getting him to Relic 5? Cody. So there's going to be a lot more waste in a Galactic Legend farm, a lot less waste in a hyper competitive Journey Guide farm. Starkiller's one of the best of them at taking down GLs. You can beat, Rey is the big thing. You combine it with Malicos and take down a lot of stuff, which is leading into the next reason you might suck, which is that you don't play Conquest. Either you don't play Conquest, don't do well enough to prep yourself to get the good characters. Cobb Vanth, I think, maybe not the best, but Satio Shan we just had has been a really strong character. For that we had Stranger. And then if you're a new player coming in, most of the characters you're getting, the Conquest units, it's going to be through Proving Grounds, which takes a while, but you need to be ready for them. You need to plan around your Conquest units like they're legendaries. Not all of the best characters in the game are legendaries. Conquest units are dominant. Queen Amidala, Bane especially is coming up soon for me. Ezra, amazing units coming from Conquest. Malgus is really good. Malicos and Maul together have been doing amazing things for me on this account. And then I have a few coming up. Stranger I have unlocked. So this is kind of me falling into that what I'm saying is why people suck is not being ready. I really wasn't ready for him. That can go against me, but really I don't have enough Zetas to go around. I don't have enough Omicrons, but you want to do your best to plan around these teams, because when you get them, they're really going to unlock a lot of potential, because they're just some of the best units in the game. Queen Amidala can beat a variety of Galactic Legends, and then a lot of A tier, S tier teams. Super valuable. Malgus is necessary for the Leviathan, the best fleet in the game. And if you're not making sure that you finish your Proving Grounds, at least 3-star them, farm them every single cycle, it's going to take you a lot longer to get them, and you're just going to miss out on a ton of stuff in the meantime. So if you have a bunch of good legendaries and Conquest units, you can kind of clear almost any defense out there, even if you are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 GLs down. I've beaten players with all 10 Galactic Legends because I'm able to clear on offense. I put a little bit of a good defense with Leia, and then that's kind of it. And Starkiller and Malicos and Queen Amidala and Balin and Bo, they are getting the heavy legwork done on offense for me. The next reason you might suck at this game, and this is very important right from the very inception of your account, is you don't climb in Fleet Arena. Maybe I've seen a lot of players that, apparently I would think watch my channel and they request roster reviews, and I look at them and they are not doing well in Fleet Arena. That is the lifeblood of your account. Every day you want to try and get at least top 5, ideally top 1. You get 400 crystals. So you need a fleet that can get you there. Early on for me, it was the Galactic Republic fleet, which I actually still use. I use this to beat profundities. Profundities are all over my Fleet Arena shard right now. Profundity, like, and this is what I need for a profundity down here. But you need to make sure you're at least being active, and this was just priority number 1. I started an account, and I want to collect the characters, but the biggest thing for me is making sure I get to a way to climb fleet. It took a few months, but I built up my endurance, my Galactic Republic fleet, enough to the point where I could actually compete with these people that bought the Hyperdrive bundle and the Lightspeed bundles. And this is talking as a completely free player that doesn't buy any extra resources. Getting number 1 fleet or top 5, huge priority. But let's buy you get your crystals for your energy refreshes, especially Cantina. It's just one of the few things you have that you can work with without just buying packs of crystals. So, Executor is still what I use over 2 years in. Very important. And I'm not going to finish this battle in the video, but you need to do your fleet climb, or you're just not gonna have much to work with day in, day out. And I think only once you have your fleet really squared away and set up and working for you is when, and you have kind of all your assault battle, passive income, your raid teams set up for your guild. Once you have those all settled, that's when you really start pushing more for higher ranks in Grand Arena. Because early on, you're not getting too much out of Grand Arena. So let's look at like Carbonite 3 or something. For Carbonite 3, every day you're going to get 65 crystals at payout. If you win a match, you're going to get 90. The bracket is the same for all. The rank 1 in the bracket gets 750. Rank 8 gets only 100 crystals. Compare that to even Chromium 3. We still only get 115 crystals a day. This is halfway up the ladder. This is dead middle. League and Division, 115 from that, 290 from a win, and 750. Still not that high. It's not until you start getting Kyber. Like Kyber 3, what I'm at right now, 220 every day. It seems to look pretty nice. 750 from a win. Compare that to Chromium 3, 290. And then Carbonite 3, 90 only. That's an increase. It definitely is an improvement, but it doesn't really start taking off until Kyber. And then Kyber, each division you go up, your payoff from a win goes up by like 75 per level. Erodium, it's 40. So you really only start getting large returns once you get into higher Kyber, and it takes either a loaded roster of good Journey Guide units that can beat Galactic Legends, a few GLs at least. I mean, some crazy people that are really knowledgeable can do it without that, I'm sure. And then some good fleets. I'm weak on the fleets too, but it's hard to actually make Grand Arena worthwhile, so it's not like the thing you need to focus on right away. But yeah, research management, getting those crystals, just paramount. Another reason you might suck at Galaxy of Heroes is you buy too many Lightspeed bundles. So this is just the example I have available, this Tuscan Lightspeed bundle. They're very enticing. 5 units, all at Relic 7. The thing is, at least with most of them, they don't have Zetas. So they're going to be a unit that doesn't have their maxed out ability levels. And they're just kind of a shell of themselves. The little purple icon here is everything to a unit, which is why I kind of don't rush to build up a character now on this account until I have some Zetas available for it. And that's why Stranger is kind of on ice right now. I'm just waiting to be built because I just don't have anything to give him. And I've seen plenty of rosters, and it's roster bloat. You buy a bunch of bundles, you not only don't have Zetas for them, you don't have good mods. I don't have the best mods on every unit, but I have good mods for everybody. Like, I at least have something functional. 142. Like, let's see my speed. If I just bought straight away a whole, I don't know, what's a good example? Like a whole Star Killer. Well, you can't buy directly a whole Star Killer team. But if you buy, your way to a Galactic Legend, like later or something, you have all these units to help get that Galactic Legend, and you can't put good mods on all of them. It's not going to be as useful as if you just waited to do it the organic way. And then speaking of, once you get the Galactic Legend, they need 6 Zetas, so it's a huge ask to get them. For the longest time, I was doing it organically without any kind of bundles, and it still took me a while to get my Zetas on Jedi Master Luke, and I'm still holding off on one because I don't think I need it, and I want to save those Zetas for another character. So you're going to end up with a big roster, but not necessarily a quality roster if you're picking up too many of those bundles. And that'll just about do it on why you suck at Galaxy of Heroes, with an honorable mention kind of being Coliseum. But I don't want to say you have to play Coliseum because it is relatively new, but it will definitely help you out if you do. So what are some reasons you think players suck at Galaxy of Heroes or don't end up getting things in order for their roster? I'd love to hear from you, and I hope this helped. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Bye.